Hey everybody, Max here. Welcome back to The Art of the Craft. Today we're going to be doing a perfect seared steak, but not just any steak, a short rib of beef. These short ribs are absolutely perfectly marbled. You're going to wonder why you've been paying more for a fillet at the steakhouse. Let's get cooking. First things first, let's take a look at this beef. As you can see, it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, what I've done is salt and pepper the outside of the beef and let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. That's gonna allow some of the salt to dissolve into the fibers of the beef. That's gonna mix together and it will produce a more moist and more flavorful cut later. As you can see, there is actual bone on the bottom here and the meat is on top. Now, when you're barbecuing, you could just throw the whole thing on there and low and slow cook it because the entire rib chop is going to get cooked up to a certain temperature. So by removing the bone off the bottom, that'll leave us with a good section of meat here that we can sear on the pan. And as you can see, this is just absolutely beautifully marbled. And these white flecks or veins between the beef are what we're talking about when we say marbled. This is all intramuscular fat. And intramuscular fat is important because as we cook it, it'll dissolve into the meat and make something that is absolutely delicious. If you're used to a filet mignon is a very lean cut of beef and it doesn't have a lot of fat to it, but it's very tender. So this is kind of like the opposite of a filet. Let's go ahead and clean these ribs up. And as you can see, I can just kind of eyeball it right there. And as you push along the bottom, you're gonna feel that bone push back against your knife, and you wanna use that as a guide so that you're kind of pulling down and away, and just like that. That's all meat right there. Don't throw these bones away. They've got a lot of good connective tissue and flavor in them. I recommend sticking them in a Ziploc bag and throwing them in the freezer. You can use them for soups or stocks later. I've actually got a great video on a pressure cooker chicken bone broth. That would be the ideal situation for these beef bones. You just sub them in and you'll have a wonderful beef broth instead. So check that video out and I'll leave a link below. Okay, and now you can see the rib section and the meat section have been separated. So we'll set the ribs aside for later use. I'm gonna take a sharp, small paring knife and trim it up so that I can get it a little bit more uniform and a little bit more consistent around the beef. Look at how good that marbling looks. One of the most accurate ways to do this is sous vide, or under pressure. And what you would do is you'd take the protein and stick it in a vacuum seal bag and then in a water bath. You can control the temperature to 1 degree there. The benefit of that is it allows for very precise and gentle cooking. That would dissolve a lot of the fats and connective tissues in something like this short rib and turn it into more like a pot roast or a braised dish. It's very tender and it falls apart. But you're gonna overcook the entire thing in that case, and you're not gonna have that great steakhouse flavor. So we're gonna use a different method, just a temperature probe. I got this new temperature set from a company called Combustion. They actually offer probes that have 8 sensors inside, all the way through here. The first 4 are inserted into the meat, and then the back 4 are measuring things like ambient temperature or surface temperature. So you'll get a very good idea of how this is cooking. This is the new 2nd generation one, and actually it goes all the way up past 900 degrees, so a lot more room than I would possibly need. And stick this probe into the meat about the middle half. There we go, just like that. And that's gonna help me know exactly what the temperature of the meat is so that we don't have to risk overcooking it. The way I've decided to cook this particular cut of meat is on a cast iron skillet. There's a couple reasons for that. Short ribs are a fattier cut of meat, and if I cooked over an open flame, the fat could drip down into the fire, it could flare up, and that sooty, dirty fire would really flavor the meat, and that's something I want to avoid. So doing it on a cast iron skillet, especially on an induction cooktop, means there's no open flame and no risk of flare-ups. All right, now that we've preheated the pan, let's go ahead and put a little bit of oil. I have a high heat canola oil here. This is going to give us a lot higher smoke point so that it doesn't burn the way something like an olive oil or a butter might do. So I'll put a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan here. This is already a preheated pan, so it's already gonna be nice and hot. And then I'm gonna take my short rib. It's got its temperature probe in here. We're all secure, and I'm just gonna start searing it. Really hot, really high. Ready? You hear that? That's exactly what we're looking for. Now, while this cooks, we don't want to mess with it. We want to let it sit here for a good minute or so and get color on one side. Then we'll begin to start turning it. And since we have our lovely temperature probe here, we can keep an idea on what the inside temperature is. Okay, it's been about a minute, so let's turn it and see how we have a sear on one side. Beautiful, exactly what we're looking for. So as you can see, we're starting to develop a crust. And we'll start to do that side by side by side. It's been about another 2 minutes, so now let's flip it on the long side. And just like that, our steak is at the desired temperature, so let's remove it from the heat and let it rest for a good 5 minutes. I can't let all of this good beef fat go to waste. I'm gonna make a quick au poivre. Steak au poivre sauce is a French steak sauce. It's made of cream, peppercorns, there's some shallot, butter, and cognac. And if you remember earlier, I said we're using an induction range because there's no risk of flare-ups, but when you're flambeing cognac, you need flame. Now for the moment of truth, let's see how that steak looks. I'd say that's what we're looking for. So a perfect medium rare. We're gonna go ahead and slice this nice and thin, and then we'll plate it up. I'm gonna go ahead and spoon our au poivre sauce actually on the bottom of the plate so that our steaks can rest on top. Boom, and just like that, we have a steakhouse quality dinner. Makes me wonder why I even bother going in the first place. Catch you next time.